All right, here goes.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of We Don't Know Movies. I am your host, Jared Webb, aka Webnuts91, and I have to my left Ethan Rag, below him Jacob, and me, Caleb Edley. What's up, guys? How you doing?
Good. You know, busy week so far already somehow, but not too bad.
Yeah, man, it's been a week.
Ethan, how was the drive home?
Long. I made 24 hours in like a week, and that sucked. Wish it was a little bit spread out, but I'm glad to be done driving for a bit.
Is that 12 hours each way?
I'm glad you came and visited.
12 hours each way. Yeah, absolutely. It was a good trip. Glad to be home. In both directions. Glad to go visit North Carolina, but I'm glad to be back and not having to worry about going back and forth for a while.
Yeah. Nice. Good. Well, this week's episode, we're going to do our top 3 favorite actors, and then a movie by them that you either enjoyed or you think their best work ever. It's totally opinionated this week, so nobody really has a wrong answer, but we could still roast each other for liking certain actors and stuff like that, which I'm sure is going to happen. But so to kick us off, we'll go ahead and get it going. Ethan, we'll go in the order Ethan, Jacob, and then Caleb. So Ethan, go ahead, take us away.
All right, cool, man. Number 3, so yeah, I went with you said, a favorite actor with my favorite movie, but also to kind of like some other ones that were in the mix, I guess, because my thought process was this, that if I had a favorite actor with my favorite movie, I don't necessarily think that they would make the list just on that movie. I think it has to be that movie with a couple other, what's the word I'm thinking of, the term, I don't know, you guys were talking about it last week. But anyways, just some honorable mentions. There we go. Some honorable mentions with my favorite film. But my third, I haven't really talked about him much on this pod. But my third favorite is Edward Norton. I've liked him. He used to be my first.
Nice.
So he's been, an interest to me for a long time since I've been in the movies. But get right into it. My favorite film of his is American History X. And most people probably expect me to say Fight Club, but I mean, it's an honorable mention in there, but that's not one reason he's my favorite actor. I don't know if you guys have seen American History X. It just appeals to my interests and what I like. I love history. I'm a history buff. I'm really into that stuff. And I really like World War II related history, even though the film isn't a direct derivative of World War II. It's the neo-Nazi propaganda after that, which takes place, I believe, in the early 90s with Edward Norton. So it kind of stems from Hitler's beliefs and just skinhead culture. And it's a really good film. One of my favorites of all time. I just loved it. And I love the Bildungsroman aspect to it, the coming of age, where he learns, he goes to prison, he hangs out with a black man, and he understands his way of life and kind of sheds his racist past. And it's one of my favorites of all time. I can watch it. It's timeless. I've seen it multiple times, and it never gets old for me. But yeah, some honorable mentions, of course, are Fight Club. And then he's Wes Anderson, the director. He has so many actors where he'll recycle them over and over again. Edward Norton is one of those actors. He has Moonrise Kingdom, Grand Budapest Hotel, just movies like that I like. So yeah, he's my number 3.
Nice. Not a bad choice. I like Edward Norton a lot too. Yeah.
Quick question. Edward Norton, he was the Hulk before
Correct.
Ruffalo, right? Okay. I just want to make sure I have the right.
Yes.
I'm not great with actors, so I'll probably be asking.
He was the original, right, Caleb? I think you can check us on that. The very first Hulk.
Eric Bana.
Was the very first. But he was the first MCU Hulk.
2008. I think the original one was 2003. I think those years are right. Okay.
Nice.
I'm up. All right, Jacob, go ahead.
My number 3, I mean, again, you guys know I don't know a lot of actors, so I'll probably have the cornier picks today.
Your favorites, man.
I'm going with Adam Sandler, actually.
Ah, nice.
He's kind of an underrated actor, I feel like, because, he made most of his money off comedies, and, he's not really thought of as very much of a serious actor by, most people's accounts. But when he does do a serious role, he does a great job. I mean, my favorite movie, or the reason I'm picking him, I'll go with Big Daddy, because that was like the first time I realized that he actually has like actual acting chops. He can play a serious role occasionally, but he's still funny. He's obviously done, Punch Drunk Love. That's a pretty good one. Everyone's telling me Uncut Gems is really good. I'm actually planning on watching that either tonight or tomorrow. But yeah, he does a lot of good stuff. Obviously, very funny. I mean, I watched Happy Gilmore a couple weeks ago. Made me want to rewatch Billy Madison too. The stupid stuff's always funny to me, but I feel like that's Big Daddy's probably, to me at least, his breakout role. So
Yeah, absolutely.
I like him because he has that. He has that. If I'm gonna be winning, so is my team. He always has his best friends in the films, and I love that about him.
Agreed.
That's a good choice.
Yeah, that's great.
But all right, Caleb, your turn. Number 3.
All right. Excuse me. My number 3 is Sir Ian McKellen, also known as Gandalf the Wise, Gandalf the White. My favorite performance, it's not really a movie, it's actually just a filmed production of a play, but his King Lear from 2018 is just phenomenal. I mean, if you want to see, he's great as Gandalf. I love his Gandalf. But if you want to see him, really, really act, you got to find a copy of that, which is hard because it's one of those things where they just stream it to theaters every now and then, but you can't really find it online. So if you do get a chance to see it, I suggest you do because, I mean, you see everything. You see, if you know the story of King Lear, he divides his kingdom, gives it to his daughters to see who really loves him, blah, blah, blah. But in the process, he ends up going mad and all this other crazy stuff. But you see all the stages of this, in one play and by one actor. It's just phenomenal to watch. So that's awesome. Why he's my number 3.
I've never seen that. I don't watch too many plays, I guess.
But I do love Gandalf.
But
he's also
what's the play that they're coming out with? They're coming out with a play that's
talking about Hamilton on Disney Plus.
It might be Hamilton, actual
Disney
Plus. That's right. That's why I saw it.
Yeah,
I'll probably check that out.
What they did with Hamilton is basically what they did with this King Lear. They just taped them performing it live for an audience one time and then sent it off.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely have to.
Yeah, that's a good plug in there. I'm so excited for Hamilton. Me and my girlfriend are gonna make a whole day out of it. Caleb, I know you are too. I love musicals, and it's weird with my musical thing. Not to digress too much, but I'm not a fan of a lot of musicals. But the musicals I like, I really, really, really like them.
Yeah, you go hard for it.
I've never seen it. I've listened to the soundtrack. I can't tell you how many times, and it's a big get to listen to a soundtrack. It's 2.5 hours, I think, something like that. Almost 3 hours of a soundtrack.
But you get the whole story, which is nice.
Of course,
it's all music. There's no dialogue or anything, so you don't miss out when you listen to the soundtrack like some musicals.
Yeah. It's amazing. It's kind of like I that's how I fell in love with Book of Mormon as well. I did that before I watched it live, and that's my favorite musical. Maybe Hamilton will beat that in about 10 days. I cannot wait till it comes out. I think Jess and we've been debating to make a movie date out of it, or wake up first thing in the morning and watch as soon as it hits. I think we're going to try and do our best to wait for that evening. But anyways, I digress.
What were you talking about? Sorry?
Hamilton comes out July 3rd.
Yeah, I want to watch that.
Not to divert so much from our actors pod, but yeah. All right, Jared, you're number 3.
All right, my number 3. I have George Clooney as my number 3. And I just think he has such a diverse thing that he many roles he can do. He can be funny, he can be serious. I mean, probably when he was younger, he did play a Batman, obviously not like a in shape Batman, more of a billionaire Batman. But
so likable.
Ethan's got a good point, though. He is extremely likable. That's probably
his
defining.
He's the original charisma guy. He's charismatic. Yeah. He's so charming.
Yeah. Oh,
Just Brother, Where Art Thou? Oh my gosh, man, dude!
That's the movie.
One of my favorite movies.
That's your movie, Jared.
That is my all-time favorite.
Sorry, Jared.
Movie. Yeah. No, you're good. You're good.
I figured. You're so predictable. That's like it's like Fox and the Hound as a live action, but real guys. That's literally it. That's funny.
Dude, yeah, my whole family loves Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? It's our favorite movie.
It's a good movie.
Another timeless film.
Yeah, I love the.
And it's based on the Odyssey. So it's just.
Yes, it is.
I think it's a great story, but yeah, George Clooney. I just think he can
get it.
Yeah.
Well,
so appealing.
He'd be a good sugar daddy to have.
Without that movie, I would never use pomade for my hair. I'm a Dapper Dan man.
God, I don't want fop, goddammit.
I'm a Dapper Dan man.
Yeah, that's just good.
Nice.
Oh, man. But, yeah, we'll keep rolling. Ethan, you're number 2.
Yeah, so my number 3 was one I haven't talked about. You guys can, if I had to you guys had to gamble, you could probably predict my next two, but I'll go with my number two. I talk about him a lot for a reason. I'll try to prove my point here a little bit, because when I say this actor's name, most people kind of scoff and just not listen. But Ryan Gosling is my second. And when people hear Ryan Gosling, they just think of The Notebook and kind of move on. But his resume is so deep, and it's just one I love very, very much. And I really fell in love with him and his acting in college. And I don't even The Notebook's a fine film, whatever, but that's not even, if that film didn't exist, he would still be my number two. My favorite, I really couldn't pick one. It's between The Place Beyond the Pines and Drive. He's a very cult-like actor with his with the films, like the type that he portrays, and also The Believer, which is kind of another film that's like American History X, around that neo-Nazi racist type of film. But he's just very unique to me, and I feel like he can kind of play that deep, dark type of actor. Yeah, you can argue that it's a little bit one-dimensional, but I think he taps into something that other people can't play. Like Drive doesn't have much dialogue at all, if you've seen the film, but I don't. Regardless of the dialogue, acting's not all about dialogue. It's your body language, the way that you move, the way that you can create a scene in the environment that you're in, and how your supporting cast acts around you. And man, he just delivers it. He gives me chills when I see him in certain films, like in Drive. It's just it's pretty phenomenal to see. Like, I could just listen to the soundtrack, have no dialogue, and just thoroughly enjoy that film. I think he's... Maybe not people will agree with me when I say he's underrated, but I think he's underrated for the films that are really, really make him good. Because you have, like, La La Land and Notebook that put him on the map. Yeah. I love that film. La La Land's a really good film. And don't get me wrong, Notebook's a great film, but I don't want that to be what he's known as, if that makes sense. I think he has so much more of a deep resume. United States of Leland, like these old films. Too. Absolutely, he can really do anything. I really, really just
What's
enjoy.
That movie with him and Emma Stone? The other one.
I know. Dude, I know. It's on my head. Steve Carell's in it as well.
Crazy Stupid Love.
Yep, that's it. Crazy Stupid Love. Good film too.
He was hilarious.
He was the main character, main supporting character, and that was Steve Carell.
Yeah.
But yeah, I digress. That is my number two.
Cool.
I like it.
All right. Jacob? My number two is Will Smith. So
nice.
I mean, who doesn't know Will Smith? All his movies. Obviously, the Bad Boy movies are fucking hilarious. So, also, he shows his real acting chops. I think in I Am Legend, where he has to play kind of going crazy in isolation. Really love that movie. But the reason I'm choosing him, or the movie that I'm choosing him based on, is Hitch. I love rom-coms. Hitch, he's really funny in it. He's trying to be like the smooth guy, but everything's going wrong. So I really love that movie. Will Smith, I feel like he's probably one of my favorite actors. And also, he does a great genie. I mean, he's no...
Robin Williams, thank you. But he makes the genie his own, and I really appreciated that. Obviously, it's not the same, but... No, he did a fine job.
The same. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But that job is hard for anyone to take.
Exactly.
When Robin Williams has done anything, that's hard for anyone to succeed. And he did fine. He made that film the only bit, credible for me. I hated that film, but he made it somewhat redeemable, I guess.
And even his video talking about how he didn't want to do it exactly like Robin Williams. And luckily, Will Smith is very musically talented as well.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
And he said he just started beatboxing and just kind of came up with it.
Like Wild West,
if I remember the video.
Wild West, he was, he did the music for it. And then MIB, he did the music for it as well. So
yeah, like almost all his early films, he would put out like a fucking single for it, and it would be a jam. It would be the summer jam.
We always had to learn how to dance to it in a gym class the next Monday.
All right, this year's Will Smith song is Wild Wild West.
Miami.
Oh my god,
that's good. All right, well that's a good choice. I like that one. Caleb, what you got for number two?
My number two is Mr. Denzel Washington. I don't know. Denzel, he's like, he can do everything, I feel like. Like, he does plays, obviously. Well, I don't know if that's obvious. He does plays, he does movies.
Obvious,
yeah. He does plays, he does movies. And he's like, if you watch him in interviews, he's like a deep guy, but he's not like one of those deep people that's like, I want you to know I'm deep. He just says deep shit like off the cuff, but he's still like likable, and he gives it to you in like a way that you'll be able to like take it and be like, oh, that was deep, I'll process it. Not like, oh, look at this fucking asshole. But
he's an acquired taste, I feel.
You think so?
I do.
Oh my goodness.
That's my opinion.
No, yeah.
I mean, I like him, but I think I say acquired taste because I feel like I can only handle him in doses.
I'd actually like to see I would really love to see him try to put out a comedy because I think he can be funny. I really just want to see a hilarious movie with him, and then
I just feel like he's kind of like I hate Nicolas Cage. Not to say they're similar. I love Denzel's a great actor, but
get ready.
I feel like he's kind of the same on all his films. Caleb is what I'm getting at. I think he's kind of the same actor a little bit. He changed it up a little bit, but his mannerisms and his body language is pretty much the same to me.
I could see that. I mean, if you're going off like some recent stuff, I could.
What goes in my head when I say that to make my claim? I think of American Gangster. I think of Training Day. I think of is it John Q?
Yeah.
No. Oh, okay.
John Q's. I feel like John Q's like one of his best.
John Q's
it's really good.
His son in the hospital, right?
Correct.
Yeah, that one's pretty intense. That's a really intense movie.
But you got to think of the characters he's playing. They're kind of similar in that. But like,
of course, and that's not his fault.
Sure, yeah.
No, I'm not putting a point. Denzel's a really good actor.
I mean,
for sure.
Equalizer, where he plays the action role too. Like that's
like he can do serious. He's got humor, like so he can be funny. I just don't think he's done.
Oh, even to Remember the Titans. Yeah. Oh my God, that's my number one for him.
Or to tell you the truth, I'd actually love to see him be a villain in some type of Marvel.
That's true because that's kind of gimmicky, and he's never gimmicky. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He's never like that slapstick. He's raw, real, in your face.
Right, and I mean
that's why I think he'd make a good villain.
They rumored him being Magneto in the MCU's X-Men, but we'll see how that goes.
I loved that so much. That would be so perfect if they could pull that off.
That would be pretty cool.
But my favorite movie, or the movie I think he's best in, it's a toss-up between Training Day and Flight.
I like Flight.
Obviously, he won the Oscar for Training Day. Flight, he's really good in it. He's got that alcoholic problem, and he I think he does a nice job with being vulnerable, but also like prickly. You know, I don't know how to like dancing the line between those two. I think is really good.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I like it. Yeah.
I need to check out Flight. I have not seen it or heard of it.
Flight's pretty good.
That came out about what?
Yeah, he did this. So basically, for Flight, he's a pilot. Actually, Caleb, you take it away. He's your pick. You know it.
Yeah, it came out in 2012.
Okay.
He plays a pilot who's an alcoholic, and he gets drunk before he has to fly because pilots have some kind of window where they can't drink before they fly or whatever. Mm-hmm. But he gets drunk but he's not drunk. He's just been drinking the night before, and so he's probably hungover a little, whatever. But there's a problem with the plane, and he has to do some weird maneuver where he turns the plane upside down and lands everybody safely. And so he gets everybody safe, but then they have to do like a report on him, and they find out he was drinking and all this shit, so he has to go to court, and he loses his pilot license and stuff like that. I don't want to like give too much away. Just
it sounds very specific.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But sorry, I was getting a phone call. That's the general plot line, and so he's dealing with being an alcoholic, and then he loses his job, which is like something he loves to do, and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Got you. Very cool.
And he's got other issues as well, like family issues and stuff like that.
Yeah,
it's just, and he plays the character very well.
Nice.
All right, I'll go ahead with my number two. My number two is I feel like he's an underrated person. Benicio del Toro.
Oh, the Mumbling King.
Mumbling King.
Wait, he acts too? I thought he only produced.
You're thinking of Guillermo del Toro, who's a director.
Yes, you were correct. That's
exactly you're thinking Guillermo. No, this is Benicio. I don't know if they're related.
I don't think so.
But he's in the Avengers movies, Guardians of the Galaxy. He is the Collector.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for people who probably don't really know his movies. Yeah.
You know who he looks like to me?
Who?
He looks like Brad Pitt a lot. In the face. Yes, dude.
Shut up.
Dude, he's Puerto Rican.
Have you seen Brad Pitt?
Benicio del Toro, yes, dude. Y'all can roast me for that.
I will.
Just look at their face.
I don't see it.
Maybe side by side right now.
I guess maybe if Brad Pitt had dark hair and wasn't as tan.
Dude, just in his face, they do kind of look alike. Oh my God. Okay, all right, I definitely see it, and I will stand by that. Y'all can roast me, listeners can roast me, but every time I look at him, dude, just like a fleeting kind of thing, he has the nose and the eyes, like they're really, those eyes, dude. Not his eye color, his eye shape.
I feel like Benicio's eyes are always kind of like squinted, and Brad actually opens his eyes.
Oh,
Dude,
buddy.
no, not when he's smiling like for still pictures. Oh my god.
I'm looking at them side by side.
I am
I don't
too.
see it, but
I am
I'll
right now.
respect your opinion.
Yeah, man, I don't
Yo,
know.
who does
Maybe,
he
maybe
actually
I'm
look like
completely
that?
wrong, but I just
I
see it.
know.
I've always seen it. Whatever.
Listeners,
Fuck me, I guess.
visit the Instagram page. Let us know what you think.
He looks
Yeah,
like a
please.
drugged up
Please
Johnny
comment on
Knoxville.
Ethan's.
If
He
you
looks
look
like
like
what?
Johnny Knoxville, I'd be on your side. He looks
Okay,
like the
maybe.
old version of Johnny Knoxville. He does not look like Brad Pitt.
I see that more than Brad Pitt.
whatsoever.
Yeah, I guess I can see
Man,
that
I really
more.
do see Brad Pitt, yo.
We need
I'm
to-
just completely wrong,
We
I
are
guess.
tagging Brad Pitt in this episode. I'm going to write it in the chat to make sure that we tag him because I want him to know that you said this blasphemous shit about him.
Okay, man, that's fine. I mean, yeah, I'll stand by it. I've always thought that. So, but I cannot believe you guys are so against it. I thought you were like, yeah, Ethan, you're fucking right, man. You got it.
Nah, I
Fuck
don't even know
me, I
actors,
guess.
but I knew
Burn
that
the
was
steak.
wrong.
I'm Joan Arc, I guess. Fuck.
But anyways, the movie I chose, why I chose him is Sicario. I don't know if you guys have seen it. It's got Josh Brolin and Emily Blunt in it, and there's a sequel as well. But,
I've not seen the sequel,
he's
but I've seen the
just-
first one.
Yeah, dude, he's just like, I guess just, I'd say a madman, I guess. He's like calm and collected, but he's also pretty crazy.
But you know what's good about Sicario and his acting in it is he doesn't
What?
speak much, so I don't have to
He
hear
doesn't.
him mumble.
Well, and also, he's the voice of Swiper in Dora the Explorer movie.
Yeah.
Oh.
In the
So you know,
movie.
I'm looking at his
In
IMDb
the
right now. 'cause I
a
don't
live
know
action
anything.
movie.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's
But
also
no,
in Fear and
he is
Loathing
good in
Las
Sicario.
Vegas.
Yeah, he's in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. And then the remake of The Wolfman, him and Anthony Hopkins, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah, you're
Dude.
right, you're right.
He plays a great like person who's going through becoming a werewolf, I guess.
Nice. And he's in The Last Jedi
He
as
looks
well.
like it, so.
He is.
Was he really?
Yeah, he was that guy that they broke out of prison or some
Yes.
shit.
Correct.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
he-
the hacker guy.
Yeah.
You know, he was
Yeah.
actually supposed to be Darth Maul, but he wanted more speaking.
Well, Darth
Why?
Maul
So he
wasn't
didn't
in
take
that
the role.
movie, I thought.
Damn.
Oh, you mean like, okay, back in Phantom Menace. He was supposed to be in Phantom Menace.
Yes, he was supposed to
Gotcha,
be Phantom, in the
gotcha.
Phantom
In
Menace.
in
yeah.
99, yeah.
That makes sense. Well, they should have made him Darth Maul and let him have some fucking lines because Darth Maul was a cool villain that they didn't let talk.
Dude, Darth Maul
Yeah.
is the biggest blue ball character in history. Like, we were so
Sure enough.
fucking excited with him,
Yep.
dude, and he died so
Well,
soon.
They made up for it apparently in the TV shows, cartoons, and stuff. But
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
they
I
made
kinda
it
didn't
for
died.
watch them, so
fucking
it's like it was
Clone
past my
Wars.
prime.
Like,
Yeah,
I hear it's good.
yeah. Everyone
yeah,
says
no,
that
it's
this show, I
good.
can't
It's
get
good,
into it.
man. But it's not marketed like that. I mean, not to take away, but I want other people to enjoy it too. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I watch it because I love Star Wars, you know. But I'm weird. I'm a weird demographic, you know, where if I'm one of those people who really, really, really like Star Wars instead of people who just watch all the films. I wish it got that screen time like those type of people who will go to the movies to see it, but they won't devote a lot of their time to reading canon and shit like that. So.
I feel that.
All
What
right,
happened
moving
to
on.
him in Star
All
Wars?
right. Well, that wraps up our number twos, if I'm correct.
Yeah, you're right.
You
You
are.
wrapped up your two.
Ethan, hit us with it. You're number one.
You guys probably already know it. Why are you laughing? You guys know who it is?
No,
No, I have no
No,
not
idea.
at all.
It's
Just
like-
don't have a
fucking
clue.
dude.
That's why I'm laughing.
Is it Brad Pitt? Is that why you brought him up?
No, fuck no. I don't know.
See, that
No.
was my guess.
Shia
I don't
LaBeouf.
know.
Oh yeah, God, yeah, of course it is.
What'd you say, Jared?
Jesus Christ,
Shia.
Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah, it's Shia LaBeouf. He's my favorite man. I love him. He's my number one. I don't see that changing in a long time. And I won't ever try to pitch why other people should because his favorite movie is just like from his best film. That's my favorite movie. Is very specific reasons why I like it. Like I said, it kind of goes in line with what I said. I'm a history buff. I love 18th century, 19th century stuff. But my favorite film from him is Lawless. Most people probably wouldn't put that as their number one, but I love it. Him and Tom Hardy, man, it's just it's a timeless film. Jerry, we talked about this before. Dan DeHaan is in that film as well. But it's about moonshiners during Prohibition. And,
I lost Jared on the call. I'm getting him back right now, but
all right, no worries. I'll continue. Yeah.
Jared, unmute your mic.
I thought he was oddly still.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
just
his whole
hanging
internet
out.
went out, so I'm gonna resend it. We'll
No
loop him
worries.
back
Yeah,
in.
dude. We'll
Yeah.
continue. We'll continue. Yeah, so and he'll go last anyway, so we'll just run our number ones. All right, guys, we're continuing as is. Like I said, Shia LaBeouf is my favorite. He's my number one. The first film I want to talk about, like I said, I'll jump back into is Lawless. It's just a specific demographic that appeals to me. I don't expect everyone to get it. My girlfriend watched it. She said it was okay, but I loved it. It's phenomenal. I'll say 9.5 out of 10. It's really hard for me to give a film 10 out of 10. I have some of my gripes with it. Some of the plot is rushed in a little bit of places. And I wish that he would have got more of revenge. Not to get into too much specifics on the film. But overall, I just love the vibe. I love the environment. I'm a very environmental type person with soundtrack involved. I'm not all necessarily about dialogue, I like how the film makes me feel. And it makes me feel like I want to grab a Colt 45 and just beat someone's ass with it. It's a really cool film, and the tar and feathering, it's lawless, dude. It's and that's why I like films like that. The violence that I like, I don't know, it's top notch. The other films I mentioned, like Drive, American History X, the violence in those films are lawless. Isn't up to that top tier level of violence, but it gets there. The tar and feather, the slitting of the throat of Tom Hardy. It's pretty intense stuff, but it just shows the reality. I know, a little bit of a spoiler.
One thing about anytime they show someone's throat getting slit, I always cringe. Like anytime I see a knife go across the throat, God.
And I'm not going to say what happens to that, but the aftermath with the visuals we get are pretty intense. But yeah, honorable mentions. I mean, I can't say Shia LaBeouf without saying Transformers. Of course, even Stevens. But we're actors for movies right now.
Those first few Transformers movies.
100%.
Can we all admit, he was the only good actor.
100%.
In those first few movies.
Transformers, dude. 9 out of 10 for me. Maybe that's nostalgic rating there.
Yeah, of course.
But the time of my life when it came out is when I needed it. You guys ever have films like that? It came out in the right time when you think about it. Transformers was that. Megan Fox was in her heyday. She was so hot. She still is, but she's not top name anymore. But yeah, and then another personal favorite is Peanut Butter Falcon. I loved Peanut Butter Falcon. That recently came out. It just shows Shia LaBeouf. It just shows the type of actor he is, man. He can deliver it. He can be anything. That's a very specific character he was meant to portray. This southern lost boy who has, no family, nothing, just a nomad, a hooligan. And, man, he's such a good actor. And Honey Boy, I could just go on, dude. He's my number one for a reason. He can really do anything. He reminds me of myself a little bit. I think that's why we pick some of these people, because we see pieces of ourselves, or at least want to, in these actors, and I really, really enjoy them. But yeah, I'll stop talking. I think that I said everything I want about my number one.
Cool.
So Jacob, take it number one.
Hard pause while we wait for Jared to come back in. I'll just edit it for the jump there.
That's fine.
Just because you were in the middle of talking, I didn't want to be a weird cut where yours was too. So.
Yeah. We're good. We'll pause it here then right when I'm done.
Yeah, I'm just going to
the time. I muted Jared. Jared, you don't need to mute yourself. I muted you on the Zoom, so just...
All right.
Jared, get fiber internet.
They don't offer it that far up north, Durham.
No, they don't. And Jared, just a word of advice, maybe disconnect everything on from Wi-Fi before you come on, like your phones and all that. I always do that.
They make sure your PlayStation's off and shit like that too.
Yeah. Disconnect all your laptops and everything.
Anything that can cool does it.
We can jump right back in. Jacob, you want to go ahead with your number one?
Yeah, Jacob, go ahead. Number one, baby.
Yeah, so
that was a good choice, Ethan.
Real quick, just want to throw out a quick honorable mention to Ryan Reynolds, the most attractive man in all of Hollywood. Just gotta say, he did movies such as Green Lantern that we all loved, of course. No, but I really do love Ryan Reynolds. He's, to me, he's probably one of the most charismatic actors of all time. But my number one, do I even have to say it, guys? It's Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, I know it.
The single most versatile actor in all of Hollywood. He can go from screaming about the Declaration of Independence to screaming about an airplane full of convicts to screaming about a witch that they're hunting. Dude, who knows what else this man could scream about?
The bees.
The bees. Oh my god. I literally just sent that gift to our friend earlier today.
You're not being ironic at all, are you? Like, you're being 100% sincere?
I'm being 100% serious. Nicolas Cage is my number one actor.
Like, I think if you take, like, an objectivity scale, like, he's got to be bottom. Like, he's awful, dude. Like, you take objective... like techniques, skills. Ask Caleb, like on an objective scale, what you would grade them as in a theater school, in a class, looking what he has to offer. He's buns, man. He's buns.
No, he's not.
I will say this.
Yeah, before we continue, I want Caleb's viewpoint on this, please.
Nicolas Cage is very hammy. He chews the scenery and everything he does, but in certain instances, I can see it working. One example is Face Off. Face Off, it works for that. Great. Some things, it doesn't quite work, but what I do respect about him is he's created his own acting technique. I've read about this because I was curious about like what the fuck he does. He created his own acting technique, just taking pieces of like other acting techniques and incorporating it with some bullshit about, I don't remember. It was bullshit, but the fact that he took the time and like wrote it out and all this other stuff, I respect that. Is he my favorite actor? No. Will I watch a movie with him in it? Depends.
But let me ask you this question: do you objectively think he's a good actor? Objectively, not does he appeal to you? Not do you like him?
I don't think he's a good actor. He's just my favorite actor.
I think he can be a good actor. I think he has the potential, but I think he gets in his own way.
Okay. And no, I like that, Jacob, because this whole pod that Jared is hosting is your favorite. You're right, not the best. Who you think the best is who you think who's your favorite. Also, that's fair.
You guys know.
I can't argue who you like.
I don't know actors that well anyway.
It's subjective.
I just know that the movie National Treasure and National Treasure 2 are two of my favorite films of all time.
They're your national treasure.
Kind of just based on how kind of silly they are, kind of like the Da Vinci Code, but you don't really have to think.
And he's pretty mellow in those. He's not.
Yeah, he's very.
He's
mellow.
not Nick Caging.
He's rolling The Family.
No, he tries to
he's pretty
keep calm and collected.
well.
And that's what I'm saying. He has the potential.
Mm-hmm. So,
if you guys haven't seen it, watch Lord of War. That is by far, to me, that's his.
That's the arms dealer one,
ever.
right?
Yeah, that's where he's the arms dealer.
Or?
No, that's Dogs of War.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Or War Dogs or some shit.
I think it's War Dogs.
Yeah, this is him and Jared Leto.
Gotcha. I haven't seen that one actually. So.
And Ethan Hawke.
Nice.
It's very good.
Not related to Tony.
And a less attractive Ethan.
I think Ethan Hawke actually has an E on the end of his name as well.
He does.
No, he doesn't. Not Ethan, but Hawke does.
Well, we're pretty sure that's what he meant. All right, I think we're on to Caleb.
All right, Caleb. Yes, please go.
All right,
save us.
My favorite actor, somebody that I will watch any movie he is in. If you say, "Hey, old boy's got a new movie out," I'll be like, "I'll watch it," even though some of his movies I haven't seen. But it's Jacob's number 2, Will Smith.
Hey.
He's my favorite actor,
and
I'll tell you why. What?
I just don't see it. But I want to hear your point.
All right.
I know.
Well, this is my favorite. I don't think he's the best. He's just my favorite. I enjoy watching him. So, started with The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I watched that when I was a kid. He's hilarious in it. I grew up with that show. I've seen every episode multiple times. I was like, oh damn, that guy's hilarious. I wish I was like him. And then he started making movies. We have Independence Day. Good movie.
Oh, God,
and we move on. He's making movies. Yeah. And he's become like synonymous with the summer blockbuster. If if he's in a summer blockbuster, it's going to make money no matter how shitty it is. It's going to make money because Will Smith is in it. He's just that bankable.
Like you said.
He is.
Yeah. And it's the charisma. It draws people in. But he also has the potential, which he doesn't use that often, to be a serious, like dramatic actor, like 7 Pounds or Pursuit of Happiness. Like he can be serious, and 7 Pounds is probably one of my favorite performances of his. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's about this guy. He's trying to redeem himself for something he's done in the past. I don't want to spoil too much. That's all I'll give you.
7 pounds. It's great.
7 pounds. But yeah, so like I know he can do that, but I mean he doesn't need to, because he can make any movie he wants. If he wants to go have fun and be a genie, he can do that. If he wants to go and fucking fight aliens, he can do that in Men in Black or in Independence Day, because the studios will let him do whatever he wants because he's just that charismatic, that bankable, and people will flock to him. And I'm one of those people. I love Will Smith. Bad Boys 2, I can quote that movie backwards and forwards. That's my favorite Will Smith movie, I think. think is hilarious.
Now,
I will say this. I think, from what you said from the beginning, I think you're bringing it back all these movies. You are selling me, a little bit more because when you mention these movies I have seen, Pursuit of Happiness, 7 Pounds, those are really, really good films. I guess just some of the films that don't have that much of a deep meaning plot that he's in kind of don't reel me in. But what your points that you've said, and just him as an actor, because he's not a director, he's not creating the plot or a producer, he's not creating that. I think what he's given, and Jared and I last week, we just watched Suicide Squad, which most people roasted. Him as Deadshot, right?
Yep.
That's his name?
Yeah.
Excellent, dude. I thought he killed that. I loved it. That was enjoyable for me.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I get what you're saying. This is my only negative point, and then I'll shut up for the rest of the pod. But listen, I thought Fresh Prince, dude, is up here, man. It is 10 out of 10. I've watched every episode multiple times. It is amazing. I just think it was hard for me to see what he's done after that up to that standard. That's all. But yeah, what you said brought it back in some memory. Was really good. But like Men in Black, I know it's a classic. Just I Am Legend, I, Robot.
I loved I Am Legend.
I know this is just my personal opinion. But 7 Pounds, great. Pursuit of Happiness, just as good, if not better. So yeah, I forgot about those films.
And I know he plays Will Smith in just about every character he does, but I like Will Smith, so I'm okay watching Will Smith in different situations,
We're all different people, but it would go back to 30 minutes ago in the pod. Jacob says you love Bad Boys, and I never cared for those films, man. Yeah. That's just me. Yeah. It's just me.
Bad Boys is kind of like my version of Transformers, I guess, maybe. Because I like the Transformers movies, but true. I prefer Bad Boys over it. Like, we all have our guilty Michael Bay movie, right?
Yeah, I'll just say one more thing regarding that. I like films that has some sort of substance, and you can make argument, Transformers doesn't. If it doesn't have substance, you have to have some sort of redeeming quality for me, which that redeeming quality being Shia and his emotions and what he wants, things like that. But I digress. I feel like if it doesn't have any substance, which Bad Boys doesn't, you like it for the action, you like it for the cussing, you like it for the one-liners. That's why you like Bad Boys, not for the substance, the deep emotional theme that you get from the film. That's my point.
And Will Smith.
Exactly. All right,
that's Will Smith.
Real quick, did you see the thing about Will Smith when it came to his social media presence? Apparently, he had gone so long without having to worry about being in the public eye because as a celebrity you can get away when you need to. But apparently, whenever he realized I need to start doing this social media thing, just how he basically came back on the scene, became another. He wasn't as popular, I guess, maybe for about 5 years or so, and then he got his social media shit figured out. If you haven't got a chance to read, there's an article out there somewhere about how he approaches his social media. And it's really
I remember the day I got a news alert that was like, Will Smith has created an Instagram. I went and followed it immediately, and his Instagrams are my favorite celebrity Instagrams, I think, because it's not just a picture of I'm getting coffee at this place or I'm eating dinner here. It's he does the videos, he's got editing, and he'll also repost fans that do stuff that's deeper than that, and I really like that about his.
Dude, we need to do an episode of celebrities we wish that had Instagrams, because I have so many that I wish had freaking Instagrams.
From back in the day, dead ones or
No, just that.
No, there's some modern ones that don't. Yeah,
dude, I can roll off all three of my actors.
Matthew McConaughey didn't have one for I don't know how long.
I don't know about Edward Norton, but I know Shia LaBeouf and Ryan Gosling both don't have.
Yeah, I mean I can't blame him honestly, but
yeah. And Pete Davidson, he was. If we did top 5, Pete Davidson was going to be in there for me just because I freaking love him. He kind of has an Instagram. He has it and deletes it, deactivates it, and will open it back up. He's weird about it. But a lot of those guys that don't. And Adam Sandler, yes, dude, fucking amazing.
I haven't seen it yet. How is it?
I won't spoil it, but I said 9 out of 10, and I don't think my rating has changed. And I take my ratings seriously. I feel like I put a lot of thought into them. But it's a solid 9 out of 10 for me. I will say this. Pete Davidson himself fucking killed it. Everything that he could embody himself, what he could construct, all that within his realm of possibility, he murdered it. He did such a good job. The only reason it's not a 10, I don't want to spoil it, were for other reasons. Supporting cast, some other things that they could have done a little bit better. But Pete Davidson's job, it's a perfect mix. It's my type of film. I like substance, deep, raw emotion, but comedy, funny, make me laugh at the same time. Yeah. And Action Bronson had a cameo. And I love Bill Burr, man. I'm a fucking Bill Burr fan. I think Bill Burr is a super acquired taste. He's like your... Fuck you! I'm from Boston. That's who Bill Burr is, and you got to have
Netflix right now too. He is.
Dude, yes, it's amazing. So for our listeners, if you have not watched King of Staten Island, spending $20, he's making that money.
That was the only thing stopping me. I was about to. I was like, $20 to rent the motherfucker.
Yep, that's it, dude. $20 to rent it. But I mean, me and my friends, we made it kind of an event. It was when I was in North Carolina. A couple of us came over, and we watched it all together. And I think his anticipation was to do it in theaters, and. Sure. It's kind of give and take what he was going to make because it's $13 a ticket, and in a household you're going to have more than one person at $20, so it's kind of multiple eyes viewing it.
That is a good point. Actually, I didn't think about that. I'd have to
because his other film, Big Time Adolescence, was partnered with Hulu, but this one he's just. I think dude, he's making that money. Like for some people, I'll just cash out that fucking money. Like you want $20 for the stream, I'll give it to you more than once, maybe. Like you earned it, dude. It's that good.
All right, when I watch it, I'll let you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. I love Will Smith. Just to reiterate, choice.
Just to make sure everyone knows, Ethan's the only one that's not on the Will Smith train.
Yeah, man. No, it just seems like we're. I'm a little different than you guys today. I mean, Bill.
I think if we did top 5, Will Smith would definitely be in my top 5. No doubt.
The only one that I will say that I have heard today that I did not put in my top 3 that would be in my top 5. And probably should be in my top 3 was Jacob's number 3, Adam Sandler, dude. He's just like, I guess, one quick point. These guys that I said have wonderful top films, but Adam Sandler is pretty flawless except, the last couple years. But from like 95 to 2015, just straight bangers, dude, for 20
years. Yeah, Jack and Jill is great.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right. All right, so there's a threshold cutoff that most people argue about, and that for me was Click. Click was his last really good film.
Yep.
After that, Bedtime Stories, Pixel, whatever, all that shit is.
It went downhill, and then
it went down.
Yeah.
But I've always made it a note because I love Adam Sandler so much. I will watch everything he's ever done. Mm-hmm. It's literally like a bitter pill I have to swallow because I'm doing it. And
watch Uncut Gems.
Oh, I've seen it. I've seen it. And
I haven't seen that yet. Yeah.
If you've watched The Cobbler and you watch every minute of that, that's the only time you can tell me you're a true Adam Sandler fan. I don't know how the fuck I watched every second of that, bro. The Cobbler? He's a magical magician shoemaker?
So bad.
Bro, I wanted to shove a shoe up my ass watching that fucking movie, bro. Anyway, I digress. God dang.
It's magical, though, so it's cool.
All right. Yeah. Well, I guess I'll go ahead with my number 1. I think you guys all know.
We know.
Hey.
All right.
It's Matthew McConaughey. Love the guy. I'll watch anything that he's in. But to me, his best film is probably Mud for me.
Okay.
It's just good, and his connection with Reese Witherspoon in it. I think, actually, you know what? He does a lot of rom-coms, or he did in his early days.
How to Lose a Guy in 10
and
Days?
his ability to just kind of able to play off of the actress that he's working with, his co-host, I guess. He just plays off whoever he's working with very well. Co-star, co-host.
Co-host.
Co-star.
What podcast he's hosting, bro?
Yeah. Very well. And even it's not really he has a romantic relationship with him, but in Dallas Buyers Club, his relationship with Jared Leto, I think, is just... It's one of the best. That
showed his repertoire, bro. That shows what he is available to. I love that film, bro. Like, that's emotional.
Dude,
man.
He'll do anything.
Yeah, that's an emotional film. But, I mean, my favorite from him, dude, is like, it kind of contradicts what I said. I love substance and shit unless it has something to give me, and that's what this film is Dazed and Confused, where you get a lot of his one-liners from, bro. But I love that film. I watched it in middle school, high school. When I was in middle school, I was like, dude, I hope my high school's experience is like that. You know,
was it?
But
but like looking back on it now, I'm like, dude, not Matthew McConaughey, but the character he portrays is such a loser. But at the time that I watched it, it was like, dude, I want to be like him. That dude's fucking cool.
Right.
But seeing that he's like 30-year-old going to high school parties.
Yeah.
Anyway, so cool though.
I mean, he's had a great transformation, like you were saying, Jared. All his early rom-coms, like that's all he was known for. It's like, we need a love interest for Reese Witherspoon or for Kate Hudson. Who are we gonna get? Matthew McConaughey, and then to pivot and make movies like Lincoln Lawyer and Mud and
Mud
Dallas Buyers Club. It's phenomenal. I love to see it because it shows that he can really act, and he was just doing those like shitty rom-coms. It's like this. It's like you get typecast to get your foot in the door, and then once you get that name recognition, you can do whatever you want. It's the only time it backfires is when people refuse to see you as anything else. But I think he's so good that we've accepted that he can actually act, and we'll watch him in anything.
We all can forgive Sahara for being a movie.
I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it either, so
You're not missing much.
I don't plan to now.
It's not good.
I mean, I will say this: he's almost got me to buy a Lincoln. So.
Oh yeah.
I love when they make fun when Jim Carrey was him on SNL.
Yes, when he's in the commercials.
Yeah.
Yes,
great.
so funny.
Whose kids are these in the back seat?
Whose kids?
You want to drive me? You want to ride me? Buy a Lincoln.
I've been driving a
I've been
Lincoln
rolling this
long
booger for
before
like
they
5
paid me to
minutes.
do it.
Yes, that's my favorite line from that skit.
God. Just so
It's like a little tennis ball.
My God.
Oh my goodness. All right, we're at about 45
But yeah.
minutes here. You got anything else?
45 minutes?
Any other Matthew McConaughey love to throw out there?
Oh, dude. I don't know if y'all know it.
That you do your hair after him? Yes, we do.
I do. I mean, I like the way it looks, and then
No, it looks
they
good.
obviously do tell me.
Dude,
it's not
it looks
better
alright,
than
alright,
Matthew McConaughey.
We would have told you if
So-
you look like shit. Like,
Yeah, no, it looks good.
yeah.
Yeah, sure. All right.
Dude, it does get hot. Like, the back of my neck is constantly hot, and I hate it. I almost wish I could put it in a ponytail, but I don't want to put it in a ponytail
One day it'll get there.
because I don't think I can pull it off.
Yeah, I don't think I could either. I think it would look
But
weird
we'll
with a
see.
ponytail.
Because I'm sure it'll get that long. But Reign of Fire. If you guys haven't seen Reign of Fire, it's got Christian Bale, Gerard Butler, and Matthew McConaughey. And Matthew McConaughey just plays like this wild Texas, just gung person. Because they're trying to kill dragons in the movie. But dude,
Wait,
he's
what?
just a badass in it.
Yeah.
And when I saw it, when I
Okay.
watched the film, I was like, dude, that dude's fucking crazy, and I like this guy.
Well, now
So
you
that's
have my
probably my
attention on
first
that
like,
one.
oh, McConaughey's really, and he's bald in it. He doesn't even have his hair.
That's when Jared got his first boner.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's. I became a man.
Y'all stupid.
But anyways, yeah. All right. Well, I guess that's it. All of our choices. So our number ones. We'll just go through our number ones really quick. Ethan, yours was Shia LaBeouf. Jacob, obviously Nicolas Cage because he's just weird like
Nicolas
that.
Cage.
Typecast.
Caleb had Will Smith. And then I had Matthew McConaughey. I love them. I love all the picks, guys. Like we were saying, this was all just opinionated. It wasn't really who we actually think is the best actor. I would love to do that show and for us to choose like a couple actors who we think is actually just
Good.
He's
Objectively
all
really
around.
good.
pretty
Yeah.
much
Yeah.
who's really good.
Has a really good resume.
You have
So,
to keep me off that show.
yeah.
Nicolas Cage is the best actor.
He's only my number 5, guys. Okay.
Yeah, he'd still be number one.
That's
But
shit.
our next show, I think we're going to plan on do actresses, if I'm correct.
Can't wait to hear about Julia Roberts, Jacob.
Oh God.
Yeah, I was about to say, we all know
straight.
Julia Roberts will probably be number one.
She's number 2. Okay.
Oh, good. We have something to look forward to. All right, I think that's gonna do it for us here on We Don't Know Movies. Thank everybody for coming. And yeah, as always, I love having everybody: Ethan, Jacob, and Caleb. Jeez Louise, Jacob, just
Yeah, they
ruining
came.
the ending of my show like
I
that.
didn't say nothing.
All right. Well, does anybody else have anything before we leave?
No man, glad to get it out there. It was fun.
Any
Everybody have a
questions
good
or
week.
comments, make sure you send them to wdknetwork@gmail.com. Write in with any ideas for the show, whether it be sports, games, or movies.
Yeah.
Or random shit to
Awesome.
talk about on the Bone Zone.
Sure. Shout out Michael B. Jordan. Shout out Miles Teller. Shout out J.K. Simmons. That's all I got to say.
Nice.
Nice.
Shout out Adam Sandler. I am going back and forth. I miss you. I love you. I'll suck you off forever.
And Leo. Love Leo.
Yes, dude. Oh
I'll
my
sh-
God, yeah. Leo's top 5 too. Adam
Channing
Sandler 4 or
Tatum
5.
as
And
well.
Brad Pitt. I like Brad Pitt a lot.
We'll just slowly
Benicio
fade
del
with
Toro
us
about
naming
it.
all of these actors.
Will Ferrell for life.
Anyways, all right, boys.
Yep. Later,
We
guys. Thank you for coming.
Peace.
In my mouth. Goodbye, guys.